In the very heart of Southeast Asia lies a peninsula of extraordinary natural drama, where the land itself seems to breathe with ancient energy and untamed beauty. Here, the landscape is defined not only by the remnants of ancient kingdoms, but by the enduring presence of a single immense life-giving artery, the Mekong River. This is Indochina, a region that today encompasses the modern nations of Laos, Vietnam and Cambodia, yet remains united by its wild geography and the pulse of its natural systems. Indochina is a world sculpted by powerful geological forces, where dense emerald jungles cloak rugged mountain spines and vast fertile plains unfurl in a patchwork of green, stretching all the way to the restless edge of the sea. The landscape is a breathtaking mosaic of extremes. The mist-shrouded peaks of the Annamite Range rise like ancient sentinels, while the Mekong Delta sprawls below, a watery labyrinth of channels, islands, and ever-shifting silt. In this land, history and nature are inseparable. Ancient stonework is slowly reclaimed by the jungle as towering trees entwine with the ruins, their roots delving deep into the earth, a testament to the relentless power of the natural world. Yet the true protagonist in this grand theatre of life is the Mekong River, a force of nature that has shaped every valley, plain and forest in its path. Known as the Mother River, the Mekong's journey begins far to the north on the icy, windswept plateaus of Tibet, where pristine mountain springs gather to form its first trickling streams. From these high, frozen origins, the river embarks on an epic voyage of nearly 3,000 miles, carving its way through 6 countries, shaping the land as it flows inexorably toward the South China Sea. Along its course, the Mekong is more than just water. It is the pulse of existence for countless species, a living artery that sustains the wild heart of Indochina. The river dictates the rhythm of the seasons, flooding the plains and nourishing the soil, creating a dynamic landscape where wetlands, forests and grasslands thrive in harmony. Its waters are a source of sustenance for the land itself, feeding the roots of ancient forests and the reeds of endless marshes. Each year, the river's floods sweep across the plains, a force of renewal that transforms the landscape, leaving behind a lush green tapestry teeming with life. The spirit of the Mekong is a unifying presence, its waters weaving together a patchwork of ecosystems, each one a world unto itself, yet all bound by the river's flow. The geography of Indochina is a direct result of the Mekong's relentless work. Over millennia, the river has carved deep gorges, sculpted cliffs, and built new land from the silt it carries. With every season, the Mekong carries immense quantities of sediment downstream, gradually building up the vast, fertile delta in southern Vietnam, a living landscape in constant motion. This rich plain, nourished by the river's gifts, is one of the world's great rice bowls, a testament to the generative power of water and earth. Further inland, the Mekong's course is wild and unpredictable, rushing through steep Laotian gorges, then spreading wide and slow across the vast floodplains of Cambodia. This varied topography creates a multitude of distinct habitats. Dense forests echoing with the calls of gibbons, wetlands alive with herons and kingfishers, and grasslands where elephants and monkeys roam, each ecosystem intricately connected by the river's flow. The result is a geographical tapestry of breathtaking diversity, where every bend in the river reveals a new world of colour, texture and life. Here, mountains descend to meet the plains, and the river finally surrenders to the sea in a spectacular display of natural engineering and timeless beauty. The very character of Indochina has been forged by this constant interplay of water and earth, creating a sanctuary where life flourishes in all its forms, untouched, wild and resilient. The journey of the Mekong is a story of connection, linking highlands to lowlands, forests to floodplains, and weaving together the natural wonders of Indochina in a single unbroken thread. To truly understand this place, one must first understand the river that has shaped its past, sustains its present, and will continue to define its future. A river whose heartbeat is the very soul of Indochina. Indochina stands as one of the planet's most vibrant crucibles of life, a biological treasure chest overflowing with an astonishing array of species. Its forests, rivers and wetlands form a living tapestry, woven from countless threads of unique flora and fauna, many found nowhere else on Earth. The sheer density and variety of its ecosystems are almost unparalleled. Towering dipterocarp trees dominate the canopy, while beneath a riot of ferns, palms and rare orchids thrive in the filtered light. Indochina's varied topography, from mist-shrouded mountains to limestone karsts, supports a remarkable diversity of plant life. Carnivorous pitcher plants and delicate epiphytes have evolved to exploit every ecological niche, while ancient cycads and towering bamboo groves hint at the region's deep evolutionary history. Astonishingly, this relatively small corner of the globe is home to approximately 1/10 of all the world's known species. Among them are enigmatic creatures like the saola, sometimes called the Asian unicorn, and a dazzling array of amphibians and reptiles, many of which remain undescribed by science. From the tiniest jewel-like insects to the largest land mammals, life flourishes here with an intensity that is both breathtaking and profoundly important for the health of our planet. Insects pollinate the forest's myriad flowers, while elephants shape the landscape as they move through the undergrowth. The secret to this incredible biodiversity lies in the region's unique combination of tropical climate, varied topography, and the life-sustaining pulse of the monsoon. Seasonal rains flood lowland forests, creating temporary wetlands that support amphibians, fish, and migratory birds. The warm, humid air provides the perfect conditions for rampant growth, allowing jungles to thrive with a bewildering complexity. Vines and creepers race toward the light, while mosses and fungi break down fallen wood, recycling nutrients back into the ecosystem. These forests are multi-layered worlds, with a sun-drenched canopy, a shadowy understory, and a forest floor teeming with activity. Fruit-bearing trees provide food for hornbills, civets and primates, while leaf litter shelters countless invertebrates and amphibians. Vietnam alone boasts more species of butterfly than all of Europe and Australia combined, a dazzling testament to the region's richness. Moths and dragonflies add to the kaleidoscope, their presence vital for pollination and as prey for birds and bats. Alongside them, around 850 species of birds, including vibrant scarlet minivets, shimmering sunbirds and majestic hornbills, fill the air with colour and song. Each species plays a role in seed dispersal, insect control, and maintaining the delicate balance of the ecosystem. The great forests are home to some of Asia's most iconic and elusive creatures. Indochinese tigers and clouded leopards prowl the shadows, while endangered langurs leap between branches. Their survival intricately linked to the health of these ancient forests. Here, herds of Asian elephants, smaller and more reserved than their African cousins, move through the dense undergrowth, their large ears flapping to cool themselves in the tropical heat. Their movements open up pathways for other animals and help disperse seeds across vast distances. In the trees above, families of yellow-cheeked gibbons patrol their territories, their powerful calls echoing for miles through the morning mist. These social primates play a crucial role in spreading fruit seeds, ensuring the regeneration of the forest. These are the world's most agile swingers, acrobats of the canopy, who can leap vast distances between branches, their movements a marvel of adaptation to life in the treetops. Down on the ground, a more formidable predator, the Asiatic bear, forages for food, its powerful claws a clear sign of its place in the forest hierarchy. As omnivores, they help control insect populations and disperse seeds through their diet. The diversity extends well beyond the large and charismatic. Tiny tree frogs, camouflaged geckos, and a multitude of small mammals and reptiles each play a vital role in the intricate web of life. The jungles are a world of specialists, each species having carved out its own unique niche. Ants farm aphids and defend certain plants in exchange for food, while fungi form underground networks that help trees share nutrients. The keeled box turtle, a terrestrial hunter, uses its excellent sense of smell to forage through the leaf litter for worms and insects, relying on an armoured shell for protection. Its presence is a sign of a healthy, undisturbed forest floor. At night, the peculiar pangolin emerges, a mammal covered in keratin scales like a medieval knight. Its shy, nocturnal habits make it one of the forest's most elusive residents. With poor eyesight but a keen sense of smell, it seeks out ant and termite nests, using its incredibly long, sticky tongue to feast on its tiny prey, a perfect example of evolution's ingenuity. Its specialized diet helps regulate insect populations, maintaining ecological balance. Yet this extraordinary biodiversity faces mounting threats from habitat loss, poaching, and climate change. Conservation efforts are underway across Indochina, with protected areas, wildlife corridors and reforestation projects aiming to safeguard these irreplaceable ecosystems for future generations. The resilience of Indochina's nature is remarkable, but its future depends on continued protection and restoration. Every species, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, is a vital thread in the fabric of life. Together they form the resilient heartbeat of this extraordinary region. Just over 50 years ago, the landscapes of Indochina, once teeming with life, were transformed into some of the most heavily damaged environments on Earth by the machinery of war. The Vietnam War, in particular, unleashed a wave of destruction that left deep, enduring scars across the region's forests, wetlands and river systems. The relentless bombing campaigns and the widespread use of chemical defoliants, such as Agent Orange, devastated millions of hectares of tropical forest. These chemicals not only stripped trees of their leaves but also poisoned the soil, rendering it inhospitable to plant life for years to come. The once vibrant jungle was reduced to a ghostly wasteland, its intricate web of life shattered. The environmental impact was profound. The loss of forest cover led to severe soil erosion, increased flooding, and the collapse of habitats for countless species. Rivers and wetlands became choked with sediment, and the delicate balance of entire ecosystems was thrown into chaos. For a time it seemed as if the very heart of Indochina's wilderness had been silenced, its biodiversity pushed to the brink of collapse. Yet, in the aftermath of devastation, nature's resilience began to reveal itself. In the decades following the war, the silence of the guns gave way to the quiet persistence of renewal. Hardy pioneer species, able to tolerate poor soils and harsh sunlight, began to colonize the barren ground. Grasses, shrubs and saplings slowly took root, stabilizing the soil and providing the first shelter for returning wildlife. One of the most striking examples of ecological transformation can be seen in the rice paddies of Vietnam. The countless bomb craters that once pockmarked the landscape did not remain barren. Over time, these depressions filled with monsoon rains, evolving into thousands of small, serene lakes. These new aquatic habitats became oases for fish, amphibians and aquatic plants, gradually integrating into the surrounding ecosystem. These crater lakes now support a surprising diversity of life, serving as microhabitats that contribute to the region's ecological recovery. They stand as living reminders of nature's ability to reclaim and repurpose even the most violent remnants of conflict. Central to this process of renewal is bamboo, a remarkable plant that played a pivotal role in the restoration of Indochina's forests. Technically, a giant grass bamboo is renowned for its extraordinary growth rate and resilience. In ideal conditions, some species can grow more than 3 feet in a single day, rapidly colonizing areas left barren by war. Bamboo's ability to thrive in poor soils and its rapid growth allowed it to stabilize eroded ground, prevent further soil loss, and create the shaded, humid microclimates necessary for the return of slower-growing hardwood trees. Acting as a living scaffold, bamboo paved the way for the gradual re-establishment of complex forest ecosystems. Over time, the protective canopy formed by bamboo enabled a diverse array of plant and animal species to return, rebuilding the intricate layers of the tropical forest. This process of natural succession, though slow, demonstrates the remarkable capacity of ecosystems to heal when given the chance. Nowhere is this resilience more evident than in the Mekong Delta. During the war, its vast mangrove forests, critical buffers between land and sea and nurseries for countless marine species, were almost entirely destroyed by defoliants and bombing. Through a combination of natural regrowth and dedicated conservation efforts, these coastal wetlands have made a spectacular recovery. Mangroves, with their complex root systems, trap sediment, reduce coastal erosion, and provide vital habitat for birds, fish, and invertebrates, helping to restore the ecological balance of the delta. Today, the Mekong Delta's mangrove forests stand as one of the most extensive and biologically diverse ecosystems of their kind in the world. They are a powerful testament to the enduring heartbeat of Indochina's wilderness and the profound capacity of nature to recover, adapt and flourish, even in the wake of unimaginable destruction. Life in Indochina is orchestrated by the monsoon, a powerful, cyclical force that pulses through the region with unwavering regularity. This climatic heartbeat not only shapes the contours of the land, but also governs the intricate web of life that depends on its rhythms for survival and renewal. This is the monsoon, a phenomenon that brings both promise and peril, its arrival and departure marking the passage of time for every living thing. For nearly half the year, Indochina is dominated by the dry season. Under the unyielding sun, the land is transformed. Rivers recede, grasslands wither, and the once lush forests stand silent, their canopies thinned and brittle. The skies remain cloudless, the air shimmers with heat, and the life-giving rains vanish, leaving the earth to endure a prolonged thirst. As the weeks stretch into months, the soil fractures and vegetation wilts, their roots reaching ever deeper in search of moisture. Rivers, once swollen with life, are reduced to narrow ribbons of water, and isolated waterholes become the last sanctuaries for wildlife, shrinking steadily under the relentless sun. This is a season of scarcity and struggle. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, is tested by the harshness of the environment. Competition intensifies at the dwindling water sources where predators and prey are drawn together by necessity, their interactions fraught with tension and risk. In the northern plains of Cambodia, herds of deer, wild pigs and other animals gather at the last remaining puddles, their survival dependent on these fragile oases. Forced into the open, these animals must balance the urgent need to drink with the ever-present threat of predation, their every movement a calculated risk. The congregation of prey does not escape the notice of opportunistic predators and scavengers, who watch with patient vigilance from the periphery. Among the most adept are the region's red-headed and white-rumped vultures, soaring high above the plains, their keen eyesight attuned to the faintest sign of weakness below. When an animal succumbs to the unforgiving drought, these scavengers descend in a coordinated flurry, swiftly reducing carcasses to bone and sinew. Their efficiency is vital, recycling nutrients and preventing the spread of disease, thus maintaining the delicate balance of the ecosystem. After months of anticipation, the atmosphere begins to shift. The air grows heavy, the wind stirs, and the sky darkens as the first signs of the monsoon's return appear on the horizon. The arrival is dramatic. Towering clouds gather, thunder rumbles, and the first fat drops of rain strike the parched earth, sending up puffs of dust before soaking into the ground. The wet season's onset is a moment of profound transformation. Within days, the landscape is utterly changed. Dormant seeds awaken, and a surge of green sweeps across the plains and forests. It is as if the entire ecosystem pauses, then exhales in relief, responding in unison to the long-awaited rains. The thirsty earth drinks deeply, and almost overnight the brown and brittle world is reborn in a riot of vibrant green as grasses, shrubs and trees burst into life. Dormant seeds, triggered by the moisture, sprout in profusion. Wildflowers bloom, painting the landscape with colour, and a wave of new life sweeps across the land. Rivers, once reduced to trickles, swell with runoff, carving new channels and flooding lowlands. Waterfalls, silent for months, roar back to life, their thunder echoing through the valleys, a signal of abundance and renewal. This dramatic shift from drought to deluge triggers a surge of activity. Animals emerge from hiding, their movements quickened by the promise of food and water. For wildlife, the wet season is a time of plenty. Herds graze on fresh grass, and the forests echo with the calls of animals feeding, courting and defending territory. The revitalized landscape offers a bounty of new growth, and animals roam widely, foraging and exploring the transformed environment. Insects emerge in vast swarms, their numbers exploding with the moisture. Birds, reptiles and amphibians feast on this abundance, fueling their own cycles of growth and reproduction. The return of the rains signals the start of breeding seasons for countless species. Their reproductive cycles are precisely timed to coincide with the period of greatest abundance, ensuring the survival of the next generation. The monsoon is more than a weather event. It is the conductor of Indochina's great natural orchestra, cueing the migrations, awakenings and transformations that define life in this dynamic region. Its rhythms sustain the land, its creatures, and the intricate ecosystems that have evolved to thrive in its embrace. At the very heart of Cambodia lies one of the world's most extraordinary hydrological wonders, Tonle Sap Lake. But this is not the only remarkable lake ecosystem in Indochina. Across the region, lakes serve as the lifeblood of the landscape, their rhythms shaping the fate of countless species. For much of the year, during the dry season, Tonle Sap is a relatively shallow body of water, covering a respectable 1,000 square miles. Its exposed mud flats and receding waters provide critical feeding grounds for wading birds and aquatic invertebrates, but the true magic of these lakes is revealed with the coming of the monsoon. As the skies darken and the rains begin, the entire ecosystem braces for transformation. Torrential rains swell the mighty Mekong River, increasing its volume by a staggering 20 times. This surge of water is the engine that drives the seasonal heartbeat of the region's lakes. The force of this immense flow is so great that it pushes back against the Tonle Sap River, reversing its direction. Water rushes into the lake, a phenomenon unique in the world. This reversal triggers a dramatic expansion. The lake's surface area swells, and its depth increases by several meters, flooding vast tracts of forest and grassland. As the reversed river pours vast quantities of Mekong water into the basin, Tonle Sap begins to expand at an astonishing rate, transforming the landscape in a matter of weeks. The lake swells and spreads across the surrounding floodplain, growing to more than 5 times its dry season size. Forests and fields are submerged, creating a vast, interconnected aquatic world. At its peak, Tonle Sap becomes a vast inland sea, a shallow, nutrient-rich expanse covering over 6,000 square miles. The influx of silt and organic matter from the Mekong fertilizes the waters, fueling an explosion of life. The flooded forests become a giant nursery for fish. Countless species migrate from the Mekong into this temporary haven to breed, their eggs and young sheltered among the submerged roots and branches. These submerged forests are among the most productive freshwater habitats on Earth. The intricate tangle of branches and roots provides shelter for juvenile fish, amphibians and invertebrates, ensuring the survival of the next generation. The abundance of fish supports a remarkable diversity of wildlife. Otters, turtles and waterbirds gather at the lake's edge, drawn by the seasonal bounty. Flocks of herons, storks and other waterbirds descend on the lake to nest and raise their young, feasting on the teeming fish populations. Even formidable predators like the Burmese python must adapt to this watery world, swimming through the flooded forest in search of prey. As dawn breaks over the lake, mist rises from the water and birds take flight, a daily reminder of the dynamic pulse that sustains this ecosystem. Aquatic plants flourish in the nutrient-rich waters, providing food and shelter for insects, amphibians and countless other small creatures. Beneath the surface, fish dart through submerged roots, while snails and crustaceans graze on the lakebed, recycling nutrients and maintaining the health of the ecosystem. Across Indochina, similar seasonal lakes and wetlands form a vast network of habitats, supporting migratory birds and sustaining biodiversity on a continental scale. These wetlands are not only reservoirs of life, but also natural filters, purifying water and buffering the land against floods and droughts. As the sun sets over Tonle Sap and its sister lakes, the water shimmers with the promise of renewal. These unique ecosystems are the resilient heartbeat of Indochina, sustaining life through cycles of abundance and retreat, and reminding us of the profound importance of nature's seasonal rhythms. High in the sunlit canopy of Indochina's jungles, a group of supreme acrobats commands the treetops. These are the yellow-cheeked gibbons, whose lives are a testament to the evolutionary marvels of the rainforest. Yellow-cheeked gibbons are primates exquisitely adapted for an arboreal existence. Their elongated arms and hook-shaped hands allow them to brachiate, swinging effortlessly from branch to branch with remarkable speed and precision. This unique form of locomotion not only conserves energy but also enables them to access food sources high in the canopy, far from terrestrial predators. Each morning the forest resonates with their powerful whooping calls, a complex vocalization that serves multiple purposes. These duets, often performed by mated pairs, reinforce social bonds and clearly delineate family territories, reducing the risk of conflict with neighbouring groups. Gibbons are the undisputed masters of brachiation, the art of swinging by their arms. Their shoulder joints are highly flexible, allowing a wide range of motion, and their lightweight bodies are perfectly balanced for aerial agility. Reaching speeds of up to 34 miles per hour, they can launch themselves across gaps of 50 feet between trees. This breathtaking display of agility and strength is not just for show, it is essential for foraging, escaping predators, and maintaining social cohesion within the group. When it is time to rest, gibbons often hang by a single arm, their powerful tendons locking in place to minimize muscular effort. This behavior allows them to remain vigilant for threats while conserving energy, a crucial adaptation in the competitive canopy environment. Down below, in the dappled shadows of the forest floor, roams a far more powerful and formidable creature, the Asiatic bear. This solitary mammal is a keystone species exerting a profound influence on the structure and health of the forest ecosystem. The adult male Asiatic bear is a heavyweight of the jungle, often weighing twice as much as a grown man. Its robust build and muscular limbs make it an apex predator and a formidable competitor for resources. Its primary weapons are its immense strength and inch-long curved claws. These claws are not only used for digging up roots and insects, but also for climbing trees in search of fruit or honey, and for self-defense against rivals or potential threats. Asiatic bears are highly territorial, and encounters between rivals can escalate into ferocious battles for dominance. These confrontations help regulate population density and maintain the delicate balance of the forest community. As top-level predators and opportunistic omnivores, Asiatic bears play a vital role in controlling populations of smaller animals and dispersing seeds, thus contributing to the regeneration and diversity of the forest. The jungle floor is also a world shaped by powerful diggers of a different kind, animals whose activities transform the very soil beneath the trees. The bamboo rat, a surprisingly large rodent weighing over 9 pounds, leads a secretive life in a labyrinth of underground tunnels. Rarely seen above ground, it is a master of subterranean engineering. Relying on an acute sense of smell rather than sight, the bamboo rat navigates its dark world in search of its primary food source, the tough roots and stems of bamboo. Its sensitive nose guides it through the maze of tunnels, ensuring it finds nourishment even in the densest thickets. With powerful claws and strong incisors, the bamboo rat excavates extensive burrows and processes its fibrous diet. In doing so, it aerates the soil, promotes nutrient cycling, and creates habitats for other small creatures, making it an unsung engineer of the forest floor. Looming large over this entire forest community is the Asian elephant, the largest land mammal in Indochina. These gentle giants are ecosystem architects, shaping the landscape through their daily activities. Asian elephants spend up to 3/4 of their day grazing and browsing, consuming a vast array of vegetation. Their varied diet includes grasses, leaves, bark and fruit, which they skillfully select using their dexterous trunks. An adult elephant must consume 1/10 of its own body weight in vegetation every day. As they feed, they disperse seeds across great distances and clear pathways through dense undergrowth, facilitating the movement of other animals and the growth of new plants. Their impact is so profound that they are often called the gardeners of the forest. To cope with the intense tropical heat, elephants use their large ears as natural cooling systems. The thin skin and extensive network of blood vessels allow heat to dissipate efficiently. By flapping their ears, elephants create a cooling breeze and circulate blood through the vessels, effectively lowering their body temperature. This adaptation is vital for their survival in the humid forests of Indochina, allowing them to thrive as the true giants of the jungle. While giants roam the forest, it is the smaller wonders of Indochina that truly shape the pulse of these ancient landscapes. Indochina's true richness is often found in its smaller, more intricate inhabitants, creatures whose lives are woven into the very fabric of the ecosystem. The world of insects here is a realm of astonishing beauty and brutal competition. From the forest floor to the highest canopy, millions of species interact in a delicate balance, each playing a vital role in nutrient cycling, pollination and the food web. Among the most captivating of these creatures is the praying mantis, a master of patience and precision. These highly territorial and fiercely cannibalistic predators are masters of ambush and disguise, blending seamlessly with their surroundings to avoid both predators and prey. The exquisite orchid mantis, for example, perfectly mimics the petals of a flower, luring unsuspecting pollinators to their doom. This remarkable adaptation not only ensures its survival, but also subtly influences the behaviour of other species in the ecosystem. The green mantis, a more common sight, is equally adept at vanishing into the foliage, its coloration a shield against both predators and prey. It possesses a remarkable visual system, with 2 large compound eyes and 3 smaller simple eyes that grant it a 300-degree field of vision and deadly accurate 3-dimensional perception at close range. Such adaptations make the mantis a formidable hunter and a crucial regulator of insect populations. In the unique environment of the Mekong Delta's mangrove forests, a different set of challenges awaits. Here, life has adapted to the constant ebb and flow of the tide, with each species carving out a niche in this ever-changing world. Among the most remarkable residents is the mudskipper, an amphibious fish that bridges the gap between land and water. It has evolved the ability to live both in and out of the water, a rare feat among fish. Using its muscular pectoral fins, the mudskipper walks across the glistening mudflats at low tide, searching for food and evading aquatic predators. To breathe on land, it can absorb oxygen through its skin and also holds oxygen-rich water in its gill chambers like a tiny built-in scuba tank. This dual adaptation allows it to exploit resources unavailable to other fish. It diligently forages for small organisms in the mud, playing a vital role in nutrient cycling and sediment turnover. When the tide returns, the mudskipper retreats to the safety of its watery burrow, a refuge from both terrestrial and aquatic threats. The cycle of life and death plays out in fascinating ways among Indochina's smallest inhabitants, each interaction shaping the ecosystem in subtle but profound ways. Even the most delicate-looking creatures are locked in a constant struggle for survival, their beauty masking ingenious strategies. The beautiful tree nymph butterfly, for instance, begins its life as a caterpillar with a very specific and dangerous diet. It feeds on the leaves of the toxic dogbane plant, a risky choice that offers powerful protection. To avoid being poisoned, the caterpillar cleverly severs the stem of the leaf before it begins to eat, limiting the flow of the plant's toxic sap. This simple act is a sophisticated survival strategy, reducing the risk of ingesting lethal toxins. The caterpillar then stores these toxins in its own body, transforming itself into a living chemical fortress. This chemical defense makes it unpalatable to predators like orb weaver spiders, ensuring its survival through the vulnerable larval stage. After 2 weeks of metamorphosis inside its chrysalis, the transformation is complete. It emerges as a graceful but still poisonous butterfly, its striking appearance a warning to would-be predators. Not all of the region's smaller wonders are insects. Birds and mammals, too, have evolved remarkable adaptations to thrive in these lush environments. In the misty mountains of northern Vietnam lives a spectacular bird, the Temminck's tragopan, a symbol of the region's avian diversity. This pheasant is usually quite reserved, relying on dense undergrowth for cover and safety. But during the mating season, the male undergoes a stunning transformation to attract a female, revealing the hidden splendor of the forest's avian life. He puts on a flamboyant display, a ritual that is both a spectacle and a testament to the evolutionary pressures of sexual selection. Inflating a pair of fleshy blue horns on his head and revealing a magnificent brightly coloured wattle that hangs from his throat like an ornate bib, he becomes a living jewel among the foliage. This burst of blue, red and orange against the green forest is a dazzling example of the evolutionary pressures that drive beauty and diversity in Indochina's wild heart. Together, these smaller wonders, each with their own unique adaptations and ecological roles, form the resilient heartbeat of Indochina's wilderness, sustaining the intricate web of life that flourishes beneath the forest canopy. At the northern edge of the great Tonle Sap Lake, where the jungle breathes and the water pulses with life, lie the silent, magnificent ruins of Angkor. But this is only one chapter in the story of Indochina, a land where water is not just a resource, but the very foundation of civilization and nature alike. For millennia, the people and ecosystems of Indochina have adapted to the region's dramatic cycles of flood and drought. Here, rivers like the Mekong and the Red and lakes such as Tonle Sap shape the land, carving out vast floodplains and nourishing dense forests, wetlands and rice paddies. These waterways are the arteries of life, supporting a dazzling array of plants and animals uniquely suited to thrive in ever-changing conditions. The ancient Khmer Empire, whose capital was Angkor, rose to greatness by harnessing the power of water. At its zenith in the 12th century, Angkor was a sprawling metropolis home to nearly 1 million people. Its success was inseparable from the natural world. The city's engineers and architects learned to read the rhythms of the monsoon, building a civilization that mirrored the cycles of the land. The genius of Angkor lay in its mastery of water engineering. The Khmer constructed a vast, intricate hydrological system, dikes, canals and enormous reservoirs known as barrages, designed to capture, store and distribute the monsoon rains. These waterworks not only protected the city from floods, but also transformed the landscape, creating artificial wetlands and sustaining lush rice paddies even through the long, dry months. This network of channels and reservoirs became a living ecosystem in its own right. Fish and aquatic plants flourished in the barrages, while birds and amphibians found sanctuary in the flooded forests and reed beds. The boundaries between human achievement and natural adaptation blurred as the engineered landscape became a haven for biodiversity. Across Indochina, other civilizations and natural communities have also learned to live with water's unpredictability. In the Mekong Delta, mangrove forests anchor the shifting coastline, their tangled roots sheltering countless species and filtering the tides. Flooded forests and floating meadows expand and contract with the seasons, providing vital breeding grounds for fish and birds. Even the rice fields, sculpted by human hands, become seasonal wetlands, teeming with life after the rains. The spiritual heart of Angkor, the temple of Angkor Wat, is itself a celebration of water. Surrounded by a vast moat, the temple's design echoes the mythical ocean encircling Mount Meru, the home of the gods. Its intricate stone carvings tell stories of celestial beings and epic journeys, but the entire structure is a monument to the life-giving power of water and the cosmological order it represents. Yet the same cycles that sustained these civilizations could also bring devastation. In the 14th and 15th centuries, the region was struck by a series of prolonged droughts, followed by intense destructive floods. The sophisticated water management systems, designed for a stable climate, struggled to cope with these extremes. Wetlands dried, rice fields withered, and the engineered landscapes were overtaken by the relentless jungle. Today, the ruins of Angkor and the wild, water-shaped ecosystems of Indochina stand as reminders of nature's resilience and power. The forests reclaim the stones, and the rivers carve new paths, but the heartbeat of water endures, sustaining life, shaping the land, and inspiring awe in all who witness its eternal flow. Today, the jungles of Indochina stand as living monuments to nature's extraordinary resilience. Across the vast emerald expanse, the slow but persistent recovery of the land is a testament to the enduring power of life itself. In places once scarred by conflict and deforestation, the rainforest now weaves a tapestry of renewal, sunlight filtering through the misty canopy to nourish a new generation of growth. In the heart of the forest, the ancient temples of Angkor are transformed by nature's patient hand. Giant silk cotton and strangler fig trees have wrapped their roots around the weathered stone, fusing architecture and wilderness into a breathtaking vision of coexistence. These roots, powerful and persistent, symbolize the relentless drive of life to reclaim and restore. The silent ruins, once echoing with the footsteps of an empire, now resonate with the calls of gibbons and the quiet movements of macaques. Wildlife has returned to these overgrown sanctuaries, finding shelter and sustenance among the stones. A living reminder that nature endures even where human presence has faded. The jungle's reclamation of these ancient places is not an act of erasure, but of renewal. New growth emerges from the cracks in old stones, each leaf and tendril a testament to the continuity of life. Here the past and present intertwine, and the resilience of nature is written in every green shoot. Indochina's story is one of remarkable adaptation. Across its diverse ecosystems, from dense forests to wetlands, life has evolved ingenious strategies to survive and flourish amid constant change. On the muddy flats of the mangroves, the mud skipper, an amphibious marvel, breathes air and navigates both land and water, embodying the spirit of adaptation that defines this region. Along the shifting waters of Tonle Sap, floating habitats rise and fall with the flood, a living response to the pulse of the monsoon and the ever-changing landscape. Every creature here, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, has found a way to thrive in a world shaped by dramatic seasonal rhythms, flood and drought, abundance and scarcity. The monsoon's arrival transforms the land, and wildlife moves in harmony with the rains, seeking shelter, food and new opportunities in the lush, water-soaked world. When the rains retreat, the earth cracks, and water becomes scarce. Yet, even in the harshest drought, life persists, roots reach deeper, animals travel farther, and the forest waits for renewal. With the return of the wet season, the land bursts into abundance. Flooded fields teem with life, and the jungle flourishes, a cycle of hardship and renewal that has shaped Indochina's wild heart for millennia. This resilience has allowed Indochina's extraordinary biodiversity to endure through epochs of geological upheaval, shifting climates, and the scars of human conflict. Rare and endangered species cling to survival in altered habitats, their continued existence a fragile victory against the odds. In places once devastated by war, nature's healing is visible. Bomb craters, once symbols of destruction, now brim with water and life. Bamboo groves rise from the ashes, and the forest slowly reclaims its lost ground. Along the coasts, mangrove forests regenerate, their young shoots anchoring the shoreline and nurturing a web of life that extends from the mud to the canopy. Yet the path to recovery is fraught with challenges. Many species remain critically endangered, their futures uncertain, as they navigate a world still threatened by habitat loss, poaching and climate change. Still, the regreening of Indochina offers hope. Forests rise where once there was only devastation, and the scars of the past are slowly cloaked in green. With time, protection and respect, the intricate web of life is rewoven. Animals return to restored habitats, and the jungle's vibrant pulse grows stronger with each passing season. Indochina remains a sanctuary of astonishing vitality. Its unique geography and wild places harbour a living legacy of adaptation and survival. The Mekong's life-giving pulse, swelled by the monsoon, sustains a mosaic of habitats and species, each intricately linked to the rhythms of water and season. The tenacity of Indochina's wildlife, their ability to endure and adapt, has created a world of unparalleled natural drama, one where survival is a daily act of resilience. This is a region of profound beauty and enduring strength, a living library of evolutionary marvels where every landscape tells a story of survival and renewal. As we look to the future, Indochina's resilient heart reminds us of the preciousness of wild places and the remarkable power of nature to heal, adapt and endure, even in the face of ongoing ecological challenges. The legacy of resilience here is not just a story of the past, but a living promise for generations yet to come. Beneath the lush forests and winding rivers of Indochina lies a world seldom seen, a hidden kingdom of caves and subterranean rivers that stretches for hundreds of kilometers beneath the surface. Carved by the patient hand of water over millions of years, these limestone labyrinths form some of the most spectacular underground landscapes on Earth. Towering chambers and cathedral-like vaults are adorned with delicate stalactites, shimmering calcite curtains and massive stone columns sculpted by the slow drip of mineral-rich water. Here, in the perpetual twilight, geology tells a story older than the rainforest above. The caves of Phong Nha, Ki Bang, carved from ancient karst, are among the largest and most intricate on the planet. Rivers vanish into yawning sinkholes, reappearing deep underground to carve new passages and hollow out vast caverns. In Sondung Cave, the world's largest entire rainforests thrive beneath collapsed ceilings, nourished by shafts of sunlight that pierce the darkness and create surreal landscapes where clouds swirl and rivers flow in silence. Within this subterranean realm, life has found extraordinary ways to persist. Blind cave fish, adapted to eternal darkness, navigate by touch and taste, their bodies almost translucent. Rare cave crickets and spiders, unseen by surface dwellers, scuttle across the damp stone, feeding on the delicate fungi and bacteria that thrive in the mineral-rich air. Troglodytic shrimp and crustaceans, ghostly white, drift through underground streams, perfectly evolved for their hidden world. The caves are also home to other wonders, glittering crystal pools, ancient fossils embedded in stone, and entire ecosystems that exist without sunlight. Bats swirl in silent columns, emerging at dusk to hunt above ground, while swallows nest on narrow ledges high above subterranean rivers. Each species, each mineral formation, is a testament to the power of adaptation in the most challenging environments. The underground rivers themselves are lifelines, channeling water through the heart of Indochina's limestone mountains. These hidden waterways shape the landscape above, feeding springs, waterfalls and wetlands that sustain the forests and fields. During the monsoon, torrents of water surge through the caverns, reshaping their walls and bringing nutrients that fuel the unique web of life below. Yet, the secret kingdom below remains fragile. Pollution, unregulated tourism and habitat disturbance threaten to disrupt the delicate balance that has been forged over millennia. Protecting these subterranean wonders is essential, not only for the rare and remarkable life they shelter, but for the vital role they play in sustaining the entire region's ecology. In the silent darkness of Indochina's caves, nature's artistry is revealed on a grand and mysterious scale. Here, in this hidden world, the story of resilience continues, written not in sunlight and leaves, but in stone, water, and the quiet persistence of life beneath the earth. At the shifting boundary where land meets sea, Indochina's coastal mangrove forests rise. An emerald labyrinth rooted in brackish mud, sculpted by the ebb and flow of the tides. These mangroves are more than just trees. They are living fortresses, standing as the first line of defence against storm surges and coastal erosion. Their tangled roots knit the shoreline, trapping sediment and nurturing new land, while their leafy canopies filter salt and withstand the relentless rhythm of the waves. Within these intertidal forests, life flourishes in astonishing diversity. Fiddler crabs scuttle across the mudflats, waving their oversized claws in silent courtship. Mud skippers, half fish and half amphibian, leap deftly from pool to pool, breathing air as they patrol the water's edge. Above, flocks of kingfishers and herons perch on twisted branches, their eyes sharp for darting fish and crustaceans below. The mangroves themselves are architects of abundance. Their roots provide nurseries for countless juvenile fish and shrimp, safe from ocean predators in the labyrinthine shelter. As tides rise and fall, Nutrient-rich waters flow through the forest, feeding plankton blooms that support an entire food web, from tiny mollusks to the majestic Irrawaddy dolphin gliding just offshore. These tidal woodlands are also vital sanctuaries for rare and threatened species. The endangered fishing cat, elusive and nocturnal, slips silently through the shadows, hunting among the roots. Saltwater crocodiles bask in the dappled sunlight, while migratory birds from as far as Siberia pause here on their epic journeys, replenished by the mangrove's bounty. Beyond their role as wildlife havens, mangrove forests act as natural climate regulators. They store immense amounts of carbon in their dense wood and deep mud, helping to moderate the impacts of climate change. Their resilience depends on the careful balance of salt and fresh water, the pulse of the tides, and the preservation of their intricate web of life. Yet these living barriers are under threat. Urban expansion, aquaculture and pollution gnaw away at their edges, weakening their ability to shield and sustain the coast. Still, where mangroves are protected and restored, nature's resilience shines. New shoots push through the mud, roots spread, and the tides continue their timeless dance. In the quiet hush of dawn, as the first light glimmers on the water, the mangrove forests of Indochina stand as guardians, stewards of the tidal edge, nurturing both land and sea. Here, the pulse of life endures, shaped by water, salt, and the unyielding will to thrive. Rising above the mist-laden lowlands, Indochina's highland plateaus form secluded worlds, where ancient mountains cradle sweeping grasslands and windswept forests. These elevated realms, isolated by sheer cliffs and deep valleys, act as natural laboratories for evolution, a place where life takes on extraordinary forms. Here the air is cooler, the seasons more pronounced, and the soil often thin and rugged. In these challenging conditions, nature's ingenuity flourishes. Endemic species found nowhere else on Earth have evolved remarkable adaptations to survive the harsh, shifting climates of the Highlands. The Annamite-striped rabbit, with its cryptic coat and secretive habits, darts through dense bamboo thickets, a living relic from a forgotten age. The saola, known as the Asian unicorn, moves silently through the remote forests, its elegant horns and elusive presence making it a symbol of the plateau's mystery. Highland gibbons, agile and acrobatic, swing through the treetops, their haunting calls echoing across the misty valleys each dawn. The flora, too, tells a story of adaptation and survival. Dwarf rhododendrons cling to windswept ridges, their waxy leaves resisting cold and desiccation. Carnivorous pitcher plants lurk in nutrient-poor soils, trapping insects to supplement their diet. Orchids bloom in a riot of shapes and colours, perfectly tuned to the highland pollinators that visit them. This mosaic of habitats, pine forests, montane grasslands, cloud-draped slopes, supports an intricate web of life. Insects, amphibians and reptiles unique to these heights find shelter under moss-laden logs and within ancient rock crevices. Streams born from mountain springs cascade down the slopes, nourishing everything in their path and connecting highlands to lowlands in a continuous cycle. But these plateaus are fragile sanctuaries. Their isolation, once a shield, now makes them vulnerable to the pressures of habitat loss and climate change. As forests thin and temperatures rise, the delicate balance that sustains these endemic species is threatened. Yet the highland plateaus remain beacons of hope for conservation and discovery. Each new expedition reveals species unknown to science, and every patch of preserved forest holds the promise of resilience. In the quiet majesty above the clouds, Indochina's plateaus stand as living testaments to adaptation, diversity, and the enduring power of nature's creativity. Where mountains yield to the sea, Indochina's great rivers unravel into sprawling deltas, ever-shifting mosaics of water and land. Here, the Mekong and Red River deltas pulse with life, their labyrinthine channels weaving through a patchwork of flooded fields, mangrove thickets, and reed beds. This is a world defined by change. Each season, monsoon floods sweep across the landscape, depositing rich sediments that renew the soil and sculpt new islands, sandbars, and oxbow lakes. The boundaries between river and land dissolve, creating a dynamic environment where nothing stays the same for long. In these fertile expanses, myriad forms of wildlife thrive. Waterbirds gather by the thousands. Herons and egrets stalk the shallows for fish, while flocks of ibises and spoonbills probe the mud for hidden invertebrates. Under the water's surface, labyrinths of roots and submerged grasses shelter shoals of fish, crabs, and amphibians, each adapted to the delta's rhythm of flood and ebb. The elusive Irrawaddy dolphin glides through brackish channels, a rare and enigmatic resident of these tidal crossroads. Mangrove forests, standing on stilt-like roots, buffer the land from the sea, absorbing the force of storms and tides. Here, mudskippers skip across exposed flats, fiddler crabs wave their oversized claws, and juvenile fish find sanctuary among tangled roots. Every inch of the delta teems with life, from dragonflies skimming the water's surface to otters weaving through the reeds. Yet, this abundance is a delicate balance. The delta's richness depends on the unbroken flow of silt and water from upstream, a chain easily disrupted by damming, pollution, or rising seas. As climate change intensifies storms and alters river courses, the delta's future hangs in the balance. But for now, these shifting veins remain the beating heart of Indochina's biodiversity. A testament to nature's dynamism, resilience, and the intricate dance between land and water. Where the lush embrace of monsoon forests thins and the rivers recede, a new world emerges, Indochina's seasonal dry forests. Here the landscape stretches in sun-baked silence for much of the year, a tapestry of tall, pale grasses and scattered trees adapted to endure the extremes of drought and fire. The soil, parched and cracked, holds the memory of months without rain. Dominating these forests are resilient teak, dipterocarp, and ironwood trees. Their leaves shimmer silver-green, many coated in wax or tiny hairs to reduce water loss under the unrelenting sun. During the dry season, these giants shed their leaves, painting the forest floor in russet and gold, conserving moisture until the monsoons return. Life here is a lesson in patience and adaptation. The Indian muntjac and sambar deer pick their way through the undergrowth, browsing on tough shoots and fallen fruit. Agile langurs leap from tree to tree, foraging for leaves and seeds, always alert to the watchful eyes of clouded leopards lurking in the shadows. Even the smallest creatures have evolved to survive. Tortoises burrow underground to escape the heat, while termites and ants build elaborate mounds that regulate temperature and humidity. Fire, too, is a vital force in these forests. Each year, lightning or human activity ignites the dry grasses, sending flames racing across the land. Yet, far from destruction, these fires clear away dead growth, trigger the germination of hardy seeds, and open space for new life. Certain orchids and wildflowers bloom only after a blaze, their seeds awakened by the heat. When the first rains finally arrive, the transformation is sudden and spectacular. Dormant seeds erupt into a riot of green, and the air fills with the chorus of frogs and cicadas. The forest, seemingly lifeless just weeks before, bursts with activity, a fleeting, exuberant celebration of survival. In the seasonal dry forests of Indochina, every plant and animal is a specialist, finely tuned to the rhythms of scarcity and renewal. Their quiet resilience shapes a landscape where life endures against the odds, and where the promise of rain is the signal for a new beginning. High above the lowland plains and river valleys, where the earth rises into steep, crumpled ridges, Indochina's mountain cloud forests emerge, shrouded in perpetual mist, perched like green fortresses along the spine of the Annamite Range. Here, The air is cool and heavy with moisture, fed by clouds that drift and cling to moss-draped branches, bathing the forest in a constant, gentle drizzle. These cloud forests are havens of rarity and endemism. Their isolation and unique climate have given rise to a remarkable cast of species found nowhere else on Earth. Among the gnarled trunks and tangled undergrowth, the elusive saola, known as the Asian unicorn, moves in silence, its presence so mysterious that even local legends speak in whispers. Above, the vibrant crested Argus pheasant steps cautiously through the leaf litter, its ornate tail feathers trailing like living streamers among the ferns. Every surface here is alive. Tree trunks and rocks vanish beneath carpets of moss, liverworts and orchids, thriving in the constant humidity. Epiphytes, plants that grow on other plants, form hanging gardens in the fog-drenched canopy, drinking directly from the clouds. The rare white-cheeked gibbon calls out at dawn, its haunting song echoing through the valleys, a declaration of territory and a search for companionship in the enveloping mist. The climate is as distinctive as the life it nurtures. Temperatures remain mild year-round, but rainfall is abundant and unpredictable, delivered in steady drips or sudden torrents. The clouds themselves act as a living reservoir, condensing on leaves and branches, feeding streams that tumble down the mountainsides and sustain life far below. This delicate balance makes the mountain cloud forests vital ecological engines. They anchor the headwaters of mighty rivers, regulate local climates, and shield lowland communities from landslides and drought. But their isolation is also their vulnerability. As the climate warms and human activity creeps higher, these mist-bound citadels face threats from all sides. Fragmentation, invasive species and shifting weather patterns that may one day lift the clouds for good. Yet for now the mountain cloud forests endure as islands of wonder, a realm where rare orchids bloom unseen, where ancient trees cradle the clouds, and where evolution's greatest experiments are played out in quiet, persistent secrecy. In these high hidden worlds, Indochina's wild heart beats on, veiled in mist, resilient and rare.